This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
And then we'll break. Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And what is today? Today is
18th. Tuesday.
It's the Quickie day. We're all in the news, but you know what I was thinking on the way over here? We never tell them how they could help the podcast.
Oh.
You can do a couple of things to help the podcast. You can do, you could tell a friend. You can send some episodes to a friend. You can also go on and rate us or write some reviews because we haven't read reviews in a long time. You could also go to our Bloody Happy Hour Cash App or what's the other one?
Venmo.
And buy us around because that always makes the
how nice would that
episodes
be?
better. You can also subscribe to our Patreon where Dirty Chad goes there. You get all the episodes that we put out with no commercials. Our video goes there too now if you like watching our videos. And any bonus episodes that we put out go there. What else, Caroline? Anything? Oh, BetterHelp. Also, the show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So, 2024, if you want to just make your life a little bit better, take your ass to therapy because you know you need it. All you got to do is tell them all your issues.
Do you have it? I know. So, April, you've had quite an experience with the therapist, and you probably should have gone to BetterHelp sooner. But good thing that it's here now, and you can always switch it up because, I know people benefit from this. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, you should give BetterHelp a try.
Where do they go?
Oh, you go to betterhelp.com/bloody, and you can get 10% off your first month.
Wow.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bloody.
You won't get 10% off if you go to Waco Psychological. Is that where Casey works? Okay. All right. So what we do on this podcast is we drink and we tell you everything that's in the news. So, Caroline, I know you got some stuff. You want to do it at the beginning or the end?
What's my stuff?
Well, I just didn't know if you had any updates of what's going on. I saw Richard Allen.
This week was pretty busy.
Okay. You just want to save it?
I'll save it because
Okay.
I didn't listen to it.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start off in Alabama. You ever been? Oh, we have a guest on the show. Oh, my goodness.
She's obsessed with
Alabama? Like the team or the state or?
Just the team
Who is
and the
this?
school.
Who is this person
Yeah,
talking?
we have a guest. Get a little bit closer to your mic and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm going to be their guest today, and I went to Alabama.
Oh, like Nick Saban, Alabama?
Yes.
Yes. Are you a little depressed?
I've been a little depressed for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's why you should all go to therapy.
That's why you should
BetterHelp.
go to betterhelp.com.
Get BetterHelp.
And you won't be as depressed when your team loses.
So, if you are a OG listener and you've listened to all the episodes, you may remember the episode where Caroline, got home from a party, took her dogs for a walk, and decided it was a good idea to write an anonymous letter and put it in somebody's envelope.
Mailbox.
Mailbox
But
of her neighbor.
yeah. So if you remember that story, then on Thursday, you want to tune back in because then we'll tell you more about it.
Yes.
And why we're bringing this up.
Yes.
We're
yes.
basically,
It is
I
connected
decided
to
just now I'm going to tease y'all.
Ross. Yeah.
And there may be a little Ross connection.
It's connected to that story.
There may be a
tune
Ross
in.
connection. So if you want to know about that connection, you better listen on Thursday because We will have our guest back.
Shelby brought us some margaritas from Sam's Bar today. Thanks, Shelby. So I'm double fisting it.
That's a great idea.
Pop off.
So let's go to Alabama. What happened was a 4-year-old kid went missing about 12:30 on Friday, January 12th. Now, the mother's name is Cheyenne Ray.
Mhm.
She said that she left him in the camper in which they live. So they live in a camper in this wooded area. And she walked over down the ways to her mother's camper. And when she got back, her son was gone. So they did like an emergency missing child alert. And immediately there was tons of like volunteers, there's tons of officials, like there were like police, everybody was on the scene to go and walk and search this wooded area looking for this 4-year-old kid. Did I mention that he had autism and he was nonverbal?
Oh, no. Wait, this sounds like that
Right.
one kid with the bicycle helmet.
He does not, it's no bike and no helmet. So,
But it does, because that kid, he had no name and he couldn't speak.
oh, yes, a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, I don't know.
I don't remember a bicycle helmet though. I think he was just found behind a dumpster.
Ooh.
I mean, I think he had a bicycle
He had a
helmet on.
picture with a bicycle helmet?
Yes, that was
Oh,
the
okay.
picture.
Lord Jesus, everybody just got confused.
Yep.
Okay, so now during the search, they saw little bitty footprints near an area, this wooded area. So they looked further and they found little Phoenix. His name is Phoenix Wilkerson. But this was Sunday, 3:15. So he went missing Friday at
Was this that little white boy
noon.
with red hair?
Yes. And they
Oh, yes.
found him at 3:15 on Sunday. So what is that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days later.
So he's kidnapped and then they just let him go. That's my prediction.
He is redhead.
Your favorite.
My favorite. When they found him, he was wearing the same clothes that he had on when he went missing, but he was not dirty. He was barefoot, but his feet weren't even dirty.
Oh, he was sick.
They alleged that he would been first they thought he had been in the woods for all 3 days,
But he
but
couldn't-
you can't be
No.
and
You'd be like Devontae Cavalcante or whatever his name is.
you'd be filthy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like his hair would be matted. He'd had something on his mouth, like he'd been trying to eat dirt or something. They can't question him because he's a nonverbal kid with autism.
Gosh.
And they're not sure where to go with this investigation. So they reached out to mom, Cheyenne, to try to get some information from her. And she did not respond, but she did make a Facebook post. And her Facebook post said, "My baby has been found and is okay. We're at the hospital right now, but overall he is okay. I have no words. I'm so thankful for every single person that came out and helped search for my baby. I wish I could hug every one of y'all and all of the law enforcement people too. Thank y'all for everything, but most of all, thank God, God is not capitalized." Drives me crazy when people do not capitalize God. "For keeping him safe and bringing him home. God is good and he listens. My baby is okay, y'all."
Okay.
Then, space, new paragraph. "I am human. I see everything y'all are saying," she wrote. "I don't care really, but it is sad, y'all. I have nothing better. Y'all have nothing better to do. My baby is home and alive. What's happening is they are talking bad about her for leaving a 4-year-old kid with autism in the camper by himself, allegedly, and going to leaving him. Just period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're going next door. Doesn't matter if he's asleep. 4-year-olds are sneaky, but 4-year-old kids with autism on another level, they're like ninjas. They'll just take off. How many times do you see missing kid with autism?
Well, at least once, because that's...
And usually they're barefoot because they're very sensory. So is the suspect.
Who?
What? Is the suspect.
Is the suspect?
Is this a sus? Is this sus?
Oh.
Is this story sus?
Yeah.
What are we thinking, Shelby?
I kind of feel like it's either an inside job from the mother because I have trust issues after the Ross episode. And
What
does the
episode
mother
was
have
that?
a boyfriend? I'm not sure what number, but it's when you talk about Ross and then it talks about like this really terrible mom that like murdered her 2 boys in a car.
Oh, Susan Smith.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she's terrible. But
She's the worst.
I'm thinking mom or mom's boyfriend, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, it's just being fully investigated, but not as like a kidnapping or staged kidnapping. And part of me was like, what if she was going to be a Susan Smith or Andrea Yates and kill her kid, but she got a second mind? It's always a good
so
story.
there's nothing? They don't know?
There's nothing right now. I mean, they're investigating, but what?
I mean, I need some leads.
Yeah. You can't question the kid. So you're going to have
Can
to
he
dig
not,
pretty
like,
deep.
he can't, there's no way he can communicate ever?
Well, 4-year-olds can't spell yet. So it's not like
Oh.
he can. I mean, some
We didn't
4-year-olds
just
may
walk
have.
away. He had to have been like,
Oh,
Why wasn't he
but
dirty?
that's the thing.
yeah,
4-year-old
like, why isn't he dirty?
4-year-old kids with autism walk away all the time. So if he'd have been filthy,
Yeah.
then
Why
we would have
did
been
she
like,
leave?
oh, great story. But he wasn't filthy. So then
No.
where was he? And nobody has come forward and said, I found this kid and I took care of him. And I mean, he's healthy.
Why was he at the house by himself at all?
They didn't even say if he's dehydrated. Is he hungry? Like, they didn't say
Hmm.
anything. So I'm going to follow it because
Keep an eye on that
I
one.
hope
Mhm.
that there's going to be more.
Yeah, that's.
Let's go to Kansas City,
Okay.
Missouri. And this is the day that the Chiefs played. Who'd they play? The Dolphins for the playoff game Saturday. Kansas City played the Dolphins and beat the Dolphins.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old.
Oh, the 3 guys.
Yes.
Yes.
37-year-old David Harrington and 36-year-old Clayton McGinney.
Yeah.
They all went to their friend Jordan Willis's house. Jordan was this brilliant scientist. He was having a watch party for the Kansas City Chiefs game. We're in Kansas City, so it's a big deal. This was Saturday, January 13th. Okay. Now, it was a party there. The last person left around 11 o'clock. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No one heard from these 3 guys since they arrived or since the party. So on Tuesday, so the party was on Saturday, finally, after calling Jordan, whose house that was,
Mm-hmm.
they called Jordan. They were calling the 3 guys that I named at the beginning. Multiple people knocked on the house door and Jordan didn't answer. So finally Tuesday, which is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days later, Clayton's fiance, April, was DTF. And she decided to go knock on the door. She didn't leave. She broke in.
Okay.
She was like, I am going to penetrate this home.
Sometimes you just gotta penetrate. Mm.
April did some penetration. Now, when she went in, she did announce herself, like who she was, why she's there.
I'm April. I'm here to penetrate.
I'm here. Don't shoot me. I'm looking for my fiance. When she went to the back porch, she saw a body on the back porch. And then she called the police. He was non-responsive. Called the police, 911. They came out there, and there were 2 more bodies covered in snow in the backyard.
What the heck?
4 days later after the party. So they asked Jordan, person who lives in the house, scientist, alleged friend, what happened? What happened to them? Jordan's response was, I guess they froze to death.
Okay,
What?
Jordan coming in with the scientific facts.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
you got to be a scientist.
Man,
to
you
go-
so smart.
So, how did you not know there were 3 dead bodies in your backyard for 4 days?
Because April, they froze to death.
He was in the house?
And you have 2 dogs. Jordan lives there. It was his house. Yeah.
April, they froze to death.
What kind of shape are the dogs in? Did they say anything about that?
No. So when April was at the house, the dogs weren't there anymore. But neighbors said that Jordan had 2 dogs that are usually always there. So did he take the dogs somewhere else because they were barking and trying to get at the bodies, or what? We don't know. Search warrants are being executed like right now as we speak, and toxicology tests are being done on the dead bodies because nobody knows what's happening. And police say there are no obvious signs of foul play at the house. So it didn't look like a struggle. You didn't find any weapons anywhere, but he also had 4 days to.
Did they have any wounds of any? They didn't say.
They didn't say anything about wounds. It's, when you're in ice, your body's basically being preserved.
Yeah.
So that's probably the perfect way to find a dead body. But if they were doing drugs, and so, some of these drugs are
Lice.
only in your system for
but how do they
little bit amount of time. But when you're dead, they'll
I would
stay.
think they have to stay there. They can't go, right?
They won't. You can't sweat them out or.
We need the autopsist to come and tell us these things.
So we're waiting on the autopsy. We're waiting on the toxicology report. And since then, Jordan, so guy who lives in the house, scientist, has had a U-Haul at his house, and he's moving all of his things out and is moving.
Why he moving, April? Why he gone?
What's your theory?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even have
What's
a theory.
your theory?
Well, they disappeared on a Saturday, so I'm kind of thinking he got in a fight with his friends, locked him out, and let them die.
Yeah, but these are 3 grown-ass men. Their cars were in the front yard, right?
So were they just doing a lot of drugs and he didn't realize he let them die? That's it. That's my theory. No, I think it seems like a little messed up. He probably killed his friends. Maybe they had a fight on Saturday. What teams were playing that day, you said?
Kansas City and Miami.
Do we know the affiliations of the 4 individuals?
I mean, they were from Kansas City. I'm just going to assume they were Kansas City fans.
The
Maybe not Jordan.
The 3 dead had on Kansas City jerseys.
Did they?
In the picture I
Okay.
saw, or they were fans. So I don't know about the house they were at. Maybe he was a Dolphins
What
fan.
was the outcome of the Dolphins game?
They lost. The Chiefs won.
Sounds like
The Chiefs.
motive.
She might be permanent on the podcast.
I'm sorry. Did I?
No.
A motive because they lost.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
Being an Alabama fan, sometimes football sports can make people emotional. It's like a crime of passion sort of thing.
Maybe there's a bunch of money on the line. And
Gambling.
so in order to not pay the money, you just kill them.
Which of them?
April's part-time FBI.
People are thinking drugs. Here's the party. Here's my thing. April, you were DTF and you penetrated the house, but why did you wait 4 days? This is your fiance.
Yeah,
He's gone
why'd you wait 4
Saturday.
days.
Sunday, maybe.
She knew about
Maybe he got too drunk or whatever. Even if he did drugs sometimes, then maybe he had to sleep it off Sunday. But by Sunday night, he wasn't answering texts or
She
your
had something
phone
to do
call.
with it. She
The
was hooking
owner
up
of the
with
house.
the owner of the house. They were.
I don't know why she wouldn't. Now, it did say that people try to go to the house multiple times and knock on the door. And Jordan just did not answer. And he was there because when she penetrated and called 911, he was inside the house.
What's your theory?
My theory is probably drugs gone wrong. And I think that Jordan,
Like a deal?
no, they were just doing it, doing drugs,
And then
doing
they
drugs.
ended up in the snow.
And you think about smart scientists, they really will dabble in some shit.
Mhm.
And your scientist, he's probably cooked up some good meth or something.
Heroin.
And
He's
he's probably been high.
Breaking Bad up in here.
He's probably been high this whole time and didn't even pay attention. And then they were snowed in. So do you go in your backyard when you're snowed in like that? How many people didn't leave the house during our little freeze?
At least one of us.
I was home for 3 days in a row. So.
Facts. Me too.
So I don't know. I would say probably drugs. I would have to interview April and ask why the hell didn't you go quicker?
But drugs is like the 3 guys did too many drugs and they ended up in the snow and dead? Or like there was an exchange that went wrong and there was like a tussle or...
No, I think they just did like overdose. It's probably going to be like some fentanyl or something like that.
How'd they end up in the snow?
And then
He was nice when they started.
Unless they like...
And then paranoid
like wobbled out
Jordan.
there.
No, paranoid Jordan
Lock
drugged
that
their
door.
ass out there because he thought they were turning against him. He had drug brain. I think he had drug brain.
Oh no, all the drug brains turned against each other and 3 guys were left outside and so then they just like couldn't find their
They
car.
were just, no, I think they were just dead. I think he took them outside because they were dead. I think they died in the house and he took them outside.
Oh, hell. Okay, well, I can't wait to see if you're right
I
because you
don't-
typically are. She's basically FBI.
I really hope he's a Dolphins fan, so I have like some credibility here.
I know. I agree.
Well, let's go to Texas for our last story.
Okay, and then I do have some updates now that
Okay.
I've reminded myself.
Let's go to Humble, Texas. That's near Houston.
Yeah,
So
what we doing
some
there?
maintenance workers got a service call to a Houston apartment complex because a dishwasher was not working. So maintenance workers do their job.
My
They go
dishwasher
in.
wasn't working. So you know.
Can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anybody.
Did you get yours fixed?
About a year later, yeah, I did.
Yeah. You're real black. You're real black. So,
I just hand washed.
You're strong.
I'm a strong woman.
yeah. Nope. Okay, so they walked into this apartment complex. They're working on the dishwasher, and they heard a child. Now, nobody else was in the house, but they heard a kid crying uncontrollably. So one of them decided to go and look where's this kid because there's no adult here. They saw a little toddler on the floor in the living room under this big blanket, like it'd been hidden. They lifted up the blanket and they saw that the limbs, the legs, were duct taped together. This is a 2-year-old toddler. So they take photos and videos, and then they leave. But they call the police for a welfare check, and the police show up.
Did
So
they
they
not
meet the police.
Why didn't they help him?
get the kid?
Well, all that's evidence.
Oh, was he alive? You could take his pulse.
He was gonna
Was he
crying.
dead?
He was alive. He was crying.
Oh,
That's a
Listen to
human.
the story.
Sorry. I was listening.
He was uncontrollably crying. Well, yeah, okay, and I think so they've signed there's these strict rules for these maintenance men. They're not allowed to touch anything else besides what they're working on.
Oh.
Can't touch the
and
child.
So they were protocol.
they were protocol, and they were like, let me let the police handle it because this is
That's
suspect.
facts. Yeah,
I don't want to
facts.
mess up any crime scene.
Yeah, you're right.
They even took videos and took pictures. So I thought they were a little DTF.
Yeah, you're right.
So now the 2-year-old was taken to the hospital. The doctor said that she would not have lasted through the night. She had a brain bleed caused by head trauma. She was anemic, and her kidneys were in failure.
What?
She too is nonverbal.
Oh, hell.
She was so malnourished that her weight was equivalent to a 1-year-old. So
That's-
she weighed 12 pounds, and she should have weighed 24, I guess.
That's not a good sign.
So CPS meets with the adults that live in the house and the children that live in the house because there's other children in the household, right? And it turns out that none of them are the mom of the child. The mom of the child left months ago and lives in another state, but she left the child with her 27-year-old cousin named Tonisha Deshay Perkins.
Okay.
who said, when asked why was this kid tied up in the middle of your floor, she goes, "Oh, the kids play like that all the time. They tie each other up all the time.
Well, with
All the time. With
Listen,
duct tape.
bro,
Oh my
I can't even
God.
tear duct tape, and
Duct
I'm a
tape?
grown ass adult.
No.
I can't even tear it.
Duct tape
And
is the hardest thing.
tear duct tape.
So when they interviewed the kids, they got a different story. The kids said that the 2-year-old has to sleep on the floor, that she gets taped up all the time and she gets popped if she removes the tape from her legs and her mouth, and that there's always a lock on the fridge so that the 2-year-old cannot get any food, and
sounds
they're
like
not allowed to give her any food.
That's like the 8 passengers.
Frankie, yeah.
Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt.
I got this from Nancy, and Nancy was comparing, because it's always duct tape, like Casey Anthony
Yes,
duct tape,
yes.
Ruby Frankie duct tape.
Yes.
It's always duct tape, but because it's so strong. Now, 3 adults lived in this house. There's Tonisha, her boyfriend, Kenry, and then
Kenry.
there is a 17-year-old who I guess they're considering her as an adult, named Maya Magruder. She is the daughter of Tonisha. They're all being charged with injury to a child and unlawful restraint of a person under 17-year-old. Those seem like
Oh.
minor charges.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we think there should be an attempted murder charge?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean,
The doctor said she would not have made it through the night
yeah.
so just by divine intervention, the maintenance men
Yeah.
happened to.
So what?
This is what I think is, I think they all left because they thought she was going to die. So they left her on the floor to die, covered her up with a blanket,
I always do that.
and left so that when they came back, they can call 911, either get rid of the body or think of some type of story.
What would the story be? Like what you said earlier that they were saying like they tied each other up for like the kids would
Yeah.
allegedly whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no other kids in the house, so
There were kids. They interviewed the kids, and the kids are the ones that told them that she's always tied up and
yeah.
that
But they were
she
there
gets popped.
when the maintenance
lived
guys
there.
showed up.
No.
Okay,
no.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, like their story wouldn't.
No, I think that when they would have got back, they would have got rid of the tape and she would have been dead. And they either would have got rid of the body or made up some random
They just
story.
didn't know the maintenance guy was going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So ruin their plan.
It ruined their plan. I think they left her there to die.
Got it. That's lovely.
There should be an attempted murder charge. But okay, what about the mom that just abandoned her?
Yeah.
With her really shitty cousin. Oh,
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah. You said
Yeah.
everything.
Really shitty cousin.
Yeah.
So I think the mom should be charged with some type of abandonment.
mm-hmm.
What you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't have anything to do with the abuse, but you have to know your cousin was shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
I don't know. That's where it is. It's just
and that was in Humble.
Humble, Texas. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh, it's just
Wow.
horrible. A 2-year-old, which here's what I think is the 2-year-old is probably autistic, nonverbal. It's either nonverbal because it had no way to flourish, and get language, or she was autistic and they tied her up to keep her out of things.
What about the head trauma?
The head trauma, she was beat. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
so
head.
that can cause lasting damages too.
Yeah. There's no telling. All right, and this is just a local story to watch. It happened yesterday here in Waco.
Oh.
The
What?
questionable death. What?
And
You
then we
happy?
have the trial that's coming up for the story that you did, Tammy Harlan.
Oh yeah.
Is that the name? Tammy
Mhm,
Harlan? That's the
mhm.
one that hit the Baylor student on the bicycle.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
That's supposed to be coming. Okay, you go. And then
Yeah. Okay, so Lorena, which is basically Waco, it's like
Yeah.
10 minutes south of Waco. There was a 911 call on Old Temple Road, so it's right by you. and a woman called and said, "Get here quick. A vehicle fell on my boyfriend."
She's
When the police got there, boyfriend was unconscious. They did CPR. And then the fire department and ambulance came and they took over CPR. So they got there yesterday, which was January 17th at 3:09 p.m. is when the police got there. Okay. They did CPR. He was pronounced dead at 3:24 p.m. So I feel like they didn't do CPR very long. But he was probably already dead when they got there. His name was Jonathan Harris. He was 40 years old, right down the road. Lorena Police Department, so it's a small police department, says that this case will be investigated as a questionable death. Because how does a car fall on you?
I don't know. It was snowing. It was snowing. April, it was snowing.
The verbiage is interesting to me.
A vehicle fell on my boyfriend, and I looked for the girlfriend's name, and it's nowhere in the articles. So I actually need to go back and because when they post it on Facebook, they'll like tag.
What did it fall off of? I don't understand how it fell.
I think she ran over his ass.
I'd like to hear
That's
more.
one way the vehicle can fall on somebody is if you get run over.
Or was it up on a jack and the jack fell?
Oh, like
But
he's
did
changing
she
a
dri-
tire kind of thing?
Why
Yeah.
would they not say that though in the article?
Because it's questionable. She probably just pulled the jack out and was like, "Look."
Oh no, you're dead.
Anyways, it's local. It's right down the road from us. I just want to watch it because I feel like there has to be more. They have to follow up on
What was
this
the
story.
boyfriend's name?
Jonathan Harris. He was 40 years old.
Do some Googling.
He's our
Yeah.
age. Okay. That is all I have.
Okay, I just saw that the Innocence Project is taking Scott Peterson's case.
Mother. They go
Bro.
way too far.
It's probably going to be Kim Kardashian up in here trying to be.
They go way too far.
Yep, they're taking on his case. I just saw that. Chad Daybell's attorney. So his main attorney wanted to be excused or recused from the case because it's been so long and it's ongoing, and Chad can no longer afford to pay him. So he was trying to get taken off the case, and they had a trial or
run
like
me
a
my
hearing
money.
today. He was denied, so he has to stay on the case.
Because that's not fair.
But
I mean, I don't want to take up for Chad Daybell,
I know, but he apparently agreed to it. He's like, "Bro, I can't pay you anymore." And he's like, "Well, sorry about it." The judge is like, "No, we're not doing this shit. You're staying on it, and we're moving forward."
So he's got to do the rest of it pro bono.
Yep.
Which is going to be the bulk of
Yeah.
the case because you still got
Which
to go
it should
trial.
be. Yeah. And then Richard Allen. So that's the Delphi murders.
Mhm.
So he, remember his two attorneys were, the judge removed them as his attorneys, and they were, he wasn't paying them. It was just like what do you call it?
Pro bono.
Yeah, but they were, public defender. They
Oh.
were
Yeah.
for free. So the judge was trying to get them taken off because there were some photos of the crime scene that was leaked, and it happened from one of their offices and blah, blah, blah. So they had a hearing today, and with like the Supreme Court. So it was like they had to go a step above from just like the regular hearing, right?
Okay.
And they decided that he could keep his original attorneys, which is good. Because I don't think he did it. I think he's innocent. I think he's been totally framed. Totally innocent. So Supreme Court reinstates his attorneys, which is how it should be.
Wow.
So I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there you
That's
go.
it for your quickie. You got a whole lot of news. We will see y'all Thursday for a full episode. Where are we going, Caroline?
We are going to Connecticut. Are we going to Connecticut? We're going to Rhode Island. We're going to Rhode Island.
We've never been to Rhode Island.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Real bougie.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
They're basically living castles there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they rich.
All right. Shelby will be there too.
She will.
We will see y'all in a little bit. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.